At this point, everyone in the world thinks that the SEC case was the last judicial drama involving XRP. However, if we're being honest, the real story has been going on behind closed doors, away from the public's view. A group suit was brought against some of the biggest banks in the world, and it was only recently made public that the suit was brought. This court case is going to destroy the Bitcoin market completely. This isn't a case about small fees or regulatory arguments. Instead, it's the case that says that the price of XRP has been steadily and carefully going down for about 10 years. Legal professionals and people who work in the business say that just the discovery phase could reveal billion-dollar worth of market manipulation. In contrast, they say it will show a pattern of planned sell barriers, questionable trading actions, and press campaigns that were timed to bring down the price of XRP just as it looked like it was about to break out. The biggest court case in the history of Bitcoin is this one, and it is of the top priority for buyers, investors, and believers. In this case, it could lead to the worst short squeeze ever recorded. The case itself is completely secret because it was sent to a federal court with strict protection rules. We looked at some documents, and they say that the claimants are investors who have had XRP for a long time, institutional funds, and maybe even people who used to work for Ripple. These people are all saying that they lost money because of a plan to make the coin less valuable. The claims in court are founded on evidence that banks and other financial intermediaries were utilizing strategies to keep XRP at a level that was below a specific threshold. The gains that should have been given to the retail and business buyers were not given to them. The main issue in this lawsuit is market manipulation, while the main issue in the SEC complaint was regulation classification. This proves that the real victims are the people who bought XRP in good faith. From what I can tell, the lawsuit will put light on a campaign that has been going on for 10 years. Some people in the cryptocurrency world have known about it, but they haven't been able to legally prove it. You already know that the most interesting thing about this new information for you is the proof of price control. There is a pattern in the historical exchange data that makes us worry. Once XRP started to grow on its own, huge sell walls would appear almost right away, stopping any further progress that was being made. Some of these sell barriers happened at the same time as bad news cycles or media blasts, which made it seem like the market wasn't stable while the price was being carefully set. People have been arguing for a long time about whether these events happened by chance or on purpose. Case law makes it clear that it was done on purpose. By looking at when, how much, and how often these deals happened, the plaintiffs are building a case that shows the market was widely manipulated. People may have very different ideas about how big financial players have dealt with XRP over the years, now that they know this new knowledge. The idea of a forced return is at the heart of what the case might mean for the situation. There is a chance that the plaintiffs will have to change their minds if the court agrees with them and decides that the institutions lowered their rates on purpose, in order to cover short positions and return funds to holders who were unable to take advantage of chances or make gains they had not expected. This would probably include buying XRP on the open market. There would be a direct effect on the XRP market because of this situation. A huge amount of buying pressure from institutions that has never been seen before. This is different from a simple distribution in cash currency. The way the market handles liquidity could send the price of XRP through the roof, as institutional orders will buy up all the tokens that are accessible. The story is not made up. In the past, market manipulation in other fields has led to forced buybacks that were similar. This has never happened on a global level in the cryptocurrency business, but there are clear parallels with the short squeeze at GameStop. But this is a much bigger problem. Hedge funds that had short positions used to be pushed around by small players in the stock market. It's possible that this situation will lead to a global event in digital assets worth trillions of dollars all over the world. Demand could very quickly hit a level that has never been seen before. Even though there aren't many XRPs in circulation right now because of trust and building up institutions, prices are still going up because of forced market activity, pushed way past the usual technical or speculative limits, which could cause the value of XRP stocks owned by people for a long time to rise. It is likely that this will happen, and it will as soon as the court rules in favor of the cases, in comparison to how volatile the market normally is, which is what the law would do. Not only does this case have to do with money, but it also has an interesting story about justice. Early supporters of XRP have seen the token's value drop over the course of several years, with its use being limited, and the media and the government are changing what it means. The way the story is told will change because of case. The cost is one reason, but there is also an unfair part of the national banking system that needs to be fixed. In the event that the claimants win their case, legal experts say that they could set a standard for responsibility in all cryptocurrency markets. This would make it very clear that manipulating the market will not be accepted anymore. When this happens, it changes how buyers act. It makes people trust the community again. And it changes XRP from a digital asset with a lot of promise into a sign of fairness and financial recovery. The part that Ripple plays in this is interesting, but the business itself is not in the middle of this controversy. There you have it. The case backs up what people have been saying for a long time about the legality and usefulness of XRP. The case could speed up the adoption of XRP by showing big and small buyers that the token was worth less than it was worth, not because of its technology or fit with the market, but because it got in the way of the system. By showing what limits the market potential of XRP, this goal could be reached. This higher level of trust, along with the fact that forced buybacks might make the market scarce, could actually create the perfect storm for prices to go up, cash flow to rise, and, to be honest, a whole new level of trust among institutions. Since this is the case, XRP could be used as both a way to keep value and a way to settle transactions around the world. What this means is important for consumers and everyone in the cryptocurrency world. If this happened, it would be based on the law and be enforced by the judges. This is different from speculation-based price increases that are based on hype or stories that are going around in the news. It is expected that this will cause the market to change right away, with huge amounts of short covering, institutional accumulation, and retail excitement all leading to a value spike that has never been seen before. Analysts warn, though, that the right time is of the greatest importance. What it means: early market positioning could start with the first signs that come up because of court papers, preliminary decisions, or discovery disclosures. Some people who pay close attention to these changes might be able to get ahead of the market before most people fully understand how important and irreversible what happened was. Finally, it's hard to talk about how this situation fits into a bigger picture. There's more to this story than just the chance to make money. It has the chance to change the surroundings of cryptocurrencies in a big way. If it works, early users might get their money back. Institutions will have to answer for their actions. And it will show that digital assets are not only new in terms of technology, but also protected by laws that can really make things happen.